Okay, today I'll be talking about the history of the English Premier League and the Manchester City Football Club, which is my favorite club and a club that I follow because of my family's deep roots in the city of Manchester and my visits to the city to meet said family and go to games and such. So many people classify themselves as diehard fans and sports enthusiasts, and yet they fail to recognize the sheer magnitude of one of the greatest sports in the entire world, and that sport is football, or as we Americans call it, soccer. So obviously today I'm going to focus on trying to inform the audience and the public of the sport of soccer in England and basically how it's displayed in the English Premier League, and how one team, Manchester City, has been able to use the Premier League to basically springboard itself into becoming one of the greatest teams in Europe today. So, beginning in 1995, and I guess roughly in 1990 to be more exact, soccer in England was facing a real tough time. Basically, they were facing major forms of hooliganism, dilapidated stadiums, and poor facilities. And basically, these had grown to create a kind of greater disdain and stale taste, I guess you could call it, for soccer or football in England. So basically, many clubs in England decided to get together and create a more powerful and together form of league that would better publicize and broadcast the nation of England itself. So, in 1995, they created the English Premier League, which was basically a league of the 20 best teams in England. The four best teams of that league every year would win certain trophies and aspects, blah blah blah, and the three worst teams in the league would be relegated into a lower division, which is the English Football Championship League. And meanwhile, the three best teams in that league would move up, and it gets quite complicated. So I won't really go into too depth, but I'll kind of scratch the surface to give a kind of basic understanding. So basically, the Premier League was founded, and today it has grown into one of the highest grossing and most successful leagues in the entire world. It features many clubs such as Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, Chelsea. Many clubs that have a worldwide name and fandom. So moving on, Manchester City was founded in 1880, and they took quite a bit of time, I guess you could say, to find their kind of relative area of specialty and their kind of fan group. And they settled. It wasn't really until about 1920 that they settled down into the greater Manchester area in an industrial section, to be exact. And them settling down in this industrial section actually helped them connect to their fans of a more blue-collar and common person aspect, you could say. And it allowed them to connect better with their fellow fans, and the fans felt a more passion and connectiveness to the team because of this. So, as a result, in around the area of the 20s and 30s, Manchester City felt a great period of success, and they were able to achieve many things. But unfortunately, this success did not last long, and it was followed by really almost an 80-year period of just despair and detrimental failure, to be honest. And it wasn't until about the 2000s, early 2000s, and late 90s when the Premier League was founded, and Manchester was able to get a new, rich, really, owner, a rich prince from Saudi Arabia who was able to inject the necessary funds and publicity into the club that helped springboard it into one of the best teams in Europe today. And this was done by buying certain players, buying certain coaches that would help come in and grow both the brand Manchester City and the team to become the team that is today. So this culminated in the 2012-2013 season, where heading into the final game of the season, Manchester City was tied with their bitter rival Manchester United in points. And their game was heading into the final 5 minutes, and they were losing their game while Manchester United had won, thus leaving them behind in total points. So basically, Manchester City needed to score 2 goals in the final. It was about 4 minutes and able to clinch a title, which they were able to do, and went down as probably the most famous title winning season of all time, and obviously the most successful and appreciated game of all time, in the game that Manchester City was able to clinch their title victory. So all in all, the Manchester City and Premier League brand has really taken off in the past 20 years or so, and as a result, it is basically just springboarded into becoming this huge following throughout the world, not only England, but also, America, China, throughout all of Southeast Asia, throughout the Middle East, etc., etc., that has helped it become the club that we know and I personally love. And that is Manchester City for you.